Thank you very much. So I thought today we'd have a bit of fun. So if you all got a pen and paper with you, we're going to have a little quiz. And depending on how many of you get the same score, I might even send something out to the winner. So this quiz is called How Well Do You Know Rachel? So my first question, which of these following jobs have I not done? Cold calling, selling, advertising, accountancy, shop assistant, or waitressing? Cold calling for advertising, accountancy, shop assistant, or waitressing? Right, looks like we've all got an answer. Which of the next statements is false? I've got my grade 8 music theory. I've played at the Bridgewater Hall. I've sung to 5,000 people. I was part of the second ever female choir to be invited to sing at St Paul's. Do you want me to repeat those for you? I've got my grade 8 music theory. I've played at the Bridgewater Hall. I've sung to 5,000 people. I was part of the second ever all-female choir to be invited to sing at St Paul's. Right, looks like everyone's got an answer. Okay, question 3. Which of these destinations did I go to for my 10th wedding anniversary celebration? Monaco F1, Jean-Michel Jarre Alborg concert, Singapore F1, Jean-Michel Jarre Gdansk concert. Right. She's probably got as much chance as anyone else, Joanne, to be fair. I did choose some really random questions. Question 4. Which of these instruments do I not own? A laser harp, a theremin, an EMS VCS3, or an AX1? Do you want me to repeat those for you? A laser harp, a theremin, an EMS VCS3, or an AX1? And finally, and I kept this short to 5 because I think there's going to be a whole load of discussion about some of these answers. And I do have some pictures pre-lined up to show you guys because I know these are very random. So, fine, your 5th and final question. Which one of these statements is false? I have all my toes. I have all my fingers. I have all my ribs. My hair is my own. So, I have all my toes. I have all my fingers. I have all my ribs. My hair is my own. See, I told you. Sorry, I only just seen chat. So yeah, Joanne, see, I told you that and shit was absolutely on a level playing field here. How did you not know I had a musical interest, Kelly? Right, guys, that's the end of the quiz. So, take yourselves off mute and we'll go through the questions and I'd love to see what you've all got. So, question number 1. Which of the following jobs have I not done? Cold calling, selling, advertising, accountancy, shop assistant, waitressing.
Waitressing, I guess.
Yeah, or shop assistant. I wrote both.
Yeah, I said shop assistant.
Wait.
Shop assistant.
It's waitressing. Don't waitress. So give yourself a point.
Can I just say, if Angie gets more right than the rest of us, then this could be quite embarrassing.
Which of the following statements is false? I've got my grade 8 music theory. I've played at Bridgewater Hall. I've sung to 5,000 people. I was the part of the second ever female choir to be invited to sing at St Paul's Cathedral.
I said the last one, but that sounds almost too specific to be wrong.
Yeah, I put sung to 5,000 people.
I said grade 8 music theory.
I said
Grade 8. Yeah, grade 8 music theory.
Beechwood Hall or whatever it was.
Bridgewater Hall. Susie is actually right. I was part of the first ever all-female choir to be invited to sing at St Paul's Cathedral, not the second.
Oh, that's where I went wrong. Because when you said about that, I remembered in our one of our one-to-ones, you said about that you'd been to St Paul's Cathedral. I couldn't remember what it was. So yeah.
Yes, so my grade 8 music theory, I got the year I was sitting my GCSEs. I've played at the Bridgewater Hall in Manchester 3 times with various orchestras, classically using a viola. And I have sung open air to 5,000 people at Tatton Park, where I was part of the boys' choir in, oh my word, what's it called? It's just come.
Well, how are we supposed to know you if you can't remember it? So
It's just gone. Right. Question 3. Which of these destinations did I go to for my 10th wedding anniversary? Monaco Formula One, Jar Albo concert, Singapore F1, Jar Gdansk concert.
I think you've done them all. It was just a case of which one was the 10th anniversary one. Because I remember you mentioning having a chat with Pritesh about going along to, and I think it was the Monaco Formula One. But I also remember you putting a post on about the fact that you were going to see Jean-Michel Jarre. But I can't remember which Jean-Michel Jarre concert it was. So I reckon you've done all 4. It's just which one was actually for your 10th anniversary.
Yeah, I went for Monaco F1. But...
yeah, I went for F1 as well.
I went for B.
I went for Gdansk.
I went for B.
Jean-Michel Jarre Gdansk.
I went for Singapore.
You went for Singapore. Where did you go, Pritesh?
B. Jean-Michel Jarre won. The first one.
Right, the answer is actually, I will share my screen. Monaco.
Monaco.
Oh,
Yay!
Got one right.
Yay. So, which of these instruments do I not own? A laser harp, a theremin, an EMS VCS3, or an AX1?
C.
I went with AX1.
You went with AX1, you went with C.
Yeah, I went with C.
C.
The
I said laser harp. Because again, the other sound too specific. I don't even know what they are.
This is why I want to stick to 5 questions.
I went with laser harp. It's just easier to write down.
Yeah.
I went with laser harp.
The answer is actually C. The EMS VSC3. That is one of the first synthesizers that Jean-Michel Jarre brought, and it is used in the album Oxygen. If I go back to sharing my screen, because I thought this might confuse some of you. Oh, I forgot I'd stuck a picture of Gdansk in there anyway, randomly. And Elborg. Elborg, just go back to that. We've got loads of time. This is a picture of the morning after the Elborg concert. We actually went here for our honeymoon. And it was in Denmark. And the headline in the paper the next day, it's the only bit of Danish I know, was Mudder Chaos. This field was pristine grass when we got there at midday. They had to pull the concert early. We were lucky, we managed to get back to our hotel at 3:30 in the morning. Some of our friends, because their coaches got so stuck, were still getting back to the hotel at 7 a.m. in the morning. And the concert finished at 10:30 because they finished it early and they cancelled fireworks.
Yeah.
That was a honeymoon to remember. Right, so this is me playing my laser harp.
Mhm.
The thing about the laser harp is it is a class 2 laser. So you have to have hand protection and you have to have eye protection. You also have to own a smoke machine because without a smoke machine, you can't see the lasers. And you also have to have a non-white ceiling. Because if you have a white ceiling, the laser harp will play itself by the reflections. So it's quite a setup. I couldn't find a picture of me playing the theremin, but this is the theremin that I've got. The theremin is a wonderful instrument because you play it by never touching it. It works off your body's magnetism. It's famously been used by the Beach Boys, Bill Bailey, and any scary movies where you hear the noise, that will be a theremin. I've been asked to play the theremin on, I've played the theremin on a friend's album because they didn't want to use violin. And I've done a live gig with a friend of mine playing the theremin in Stockport. He's like electronic music. And we did 2 tracks with the theremin. This is the one I don't own.
Mhm.
So this is the one of the synthesizers that Jar uses.
See, that doesn't look like a synthesizer to me. That looks like it's something that should be in a bloody radioactive class.
Yeah, so this is all very technical and I haven't got the headspace for that yet. And then this is an AX1 and this looks identical to mine. So this is otherwise known as a keytar and I've got that exact Roland AX1 in bright red.
You in the leather trousers holding it then?
No, it's not me holding that. Going through trying to find the photos that might be of interest for this morning. And my husband and I really bad at taking photos of each other. So I had to use a lot of like stock images. So that's the AX1. So the final question, and then we've got time for a bit more discussion after this if there's anything anyone wants to explore more or has a random thought about that they've been inspired to. Which of these statements is false? I have all my toes, I have all my fingers, I have all my ribs, my hair is my own.
All your toes.
All my toes.
Ribs.
Yeah, I went for toes.
I went with toes.
I went for ribs.
You went for ribs. Those of you who went for ribs, give yourself a point. When I was, well, the day after my 19th birthday, I had an operation on my, day after my 18th birthday, I had an operation on my back, which is the only reason I'm walking. And the curvature in my spine was so bad that even once they put the rod in, the gap was too big. So they had to take one of my ribs out, crush it up, and use it as a bone graft between the spine and the rod. So I have 2 less ribs than every male and 1 less rib than every female.
Mhm.
Random start to finish on for you guys.
Yeah.
So, any questions? Anyone want to explore anything else? Anyone want to know anything else?
Just that every day's a learning day, Rachel. So there's a lot in there that I didn't already know about you. So really useful to come along.
So you're a very musical person. You play lots of different instruments. What's your favourite instrument to play? And is it the same as the one that you are best at playing?
My favourite instrument to play. I'm going to have two. Because classically it is definitely the viola. Although I don't play classically as much now, because one of the side effects with my back is that I struggle to sit in the same position for a long time. So quite often you guys will see me getting up and moving around during calls. That's because my back seizes up. And so I'm playing the viola. You are almost always sat down when you're playing in an orchestra and things like that. And you can't exactly in the middle of a piece when you're on 36 bars rest, get up, walk around the orchestra and come and sit back down again. So I don't play that as much now. Electronic wise, it's a tie between the laser harp and the theremin for very different reasons. The laser harp is very visual, it's very fun. And depending on how you set it up, it can either be easy to play or hard to play. And what I mean by that is, if you want the easy way to play a laser harp, you set it up so that every laser is a dedicated note, but where you cut the laser depends on how much wobble that note has. If you want to play it the hard way, you set it up so the note varies depending on the height that you cut the laser at. So it depends on whether you want to do a really tough practice or you want to have a fun play. The problem with the laser harp is it takes an awful lot of setting up. You know, you've got to get your eye protection, you've got to get your gloves, you've got to make sure that all lasers, I have to make sure all the lasers are lined up with the black strip of paper I've got across my ceiling so they don't start playing themselves. Then you've got to fill the room with smoke. Then you've got to attach it to a speaker and only then can you start playing with it. Whereas the theremin, you plug it in and it goes. The downside with the theremin is it's quite often a pitch or a sound that Leo really does not like. So if I'm playing the theremin, I have to make sure dog's in the garden or somewhere else. So yeah, I think I would go laser harp and viola.
Excellent, thank you.
And yeah, I've never been to the Singapore Grand Prix, by the way.
But it's on your to-do list.
It is on my achievement list, yes. Anyone else got any questions or think I really don't know anything about that?
Have you got another instrument that you want to learn?
I want to get better at the laser harp and the theremin before I take on another instrument. There is one. By the way, all the electronic instruments I play, I have seen Jean-Michel Jarre play. And there is one that he's got that I've no idea what it's called. And I did try and Google it this morning to add it in as the one that I don't own, and I couldn't even find the name of it. It's like a clarinet crossed with a horn, crossed with a random. So it's like a massive clarinet, but quite wide, made out of brass with a upturned end. And I've never played a wind instrument, so I think that would be fun. And classically, the one when I retire I want to learn is the saxophone. I just like the sound, but I would probably go for an alto sax, so I don't squeak.
That's
What about the
great.
John,
I
what
mean,
about the Jean-Michel Jarre thing? Is that is it simply that you're a super fan, or is there something more to it than that?
It's but John Michel Jarre, when my husband and I met, we realised that we had two very big things in common: Formula One and John Michel Jarre. So there are two common things, and John Michel Jarre. Are we a super fan? No, I wouldn't say we are. We enjoy his music. It's music that we both like. His concerts really are. They're an experience. They're not a music concert. And quite a few years ago, he was releasing a new album, and he announced he was releasing it at this music festival in Barcelona called Sonar. So we booked flight, hotel, and tickets to go to Sonar. If you ever get a chance to go, guys, seriously go. Sonar is amazing. It's a 3-day event. During the day, it's in the heart of Barcelona. It's open air venue with some inside stages and things. But then as it turns dusk, they put on coaches and coach everyone to the outskirts of Barcelona, where they have 3 warehouses. And by warehouses, let me explain, there's 2 undercover, and then the middle one is open to the elements. The one that is open to the elements is big enough to have a stage and a bumper car track in it. And all of them the same size. And so they coach you out to the evening bit on the outskirts of the centre. And then if you booked a town centre, they coach you back in about between 3 and 6 in the morning. Absolutely amazing experience. But we booked that literally 8 days after we booked that. John Michel Jarre turned around and announced that he was playing at Blue Dot Music Festival, which is based at Jodrell Bank, 20 minutes drive away from our house. So guess what we did? Booked Blue Dot for that year and booked our glamping. Actually, we didn't glamp that year. That was the year we tried to do it by coach, and we said never again with glamping. But yeah, there is one other beautiful story about John Michel Jarre. So he was doing an indoor tour in the UK, and we're part of the UK fan club. And it was in the Albert Hall. So we're like, yeah, we know he's doing Manchester Arena, but we've been there loads. We've never been to the Albert Hall. So we booked tickets for the Albert Hall and arranged with the fans to meet up, and we were staying with my aunt and uncle who live in High Wycombe, so we had no hotel cost for that. So we booked these tickets, and then about 3 days later, Tom's parents rang us and said, "We've decided we'll treat you to the John Michel Jarre concert in Manchester, and we'll come up as well." So we watched him in London with all the fans in the Albert Hall on the Friday, drove home on the Saturday, went into Manchester Saturday night, saw the identical concert in Manchester on Saturday night, and then at the end, again with the group of fans that come to Manchester, we went round the back, and we were waiting for Jarre, and Jarre was signing things. I was a little way back, but we have this thing that we always take a penguin, because penguins are also our animal. But Jarre uses a lot of penguins in his imagery and albums and things. And so we have inflatable blow-up penguins for outdoor concerts, and we have stuffed toy penguins for indoor concerts. And I was about 2 or 3 back from the main gates and jumping up and down and waving the stuffed penguin around. Jarre pointed at me and went, "Oi, you here?" I'm like, "Me?" He went, "Yeah." He said, "Give me that penguin. It's not properly dressed." And he drew a bow tie on it, and then he signed across its stomach for me, and then gave it me back. So I have a stuffed cuddly penguin signed by John Michel Jarre.
Brilliant, excellent. Thanks, Rachel. That's been really, really good. I think we've all learned a great deal about you. So well done on that. And I knew you were musical, never.